Good morning, class 3. Welcome to your English class. Today we are going to start our lesson number 3, unit 1. The name of your lesson is What I Learned About My Granddad. Okay, what I learned about my granddad. Now we have to read the passage and answer the following questions. First, we are going to read the passage. Granddad was born in 1950 in northern England. His father worked in a coal mines as a young man, and as a result, his health was poor and he couldn't work. My granddad died at the age of 47. When grandfather was only 11, granddad left school at the age of 14 and began work. Luckily, he was given a job by his uncle who ran a small stationery and printing company. Okay, granddad was born in 1950 in northern England and his father worked in a coal mine. Okay, his father was working in a coal mine. As a result, their wealth was poor and they couldn't work. Okay, he couldn't work and his wealth was poor too. My great grandfather and his grandfather died at the age of 47. Okay, when grandfather was only 11. Okay, granddad left the school at the age of 14 and began to work because his father died when he was 11, so he had to work and he left his school. Luckily, he was given a job by his uncle and he started running a small stationery and a printing company. I always knew that Granddad worked very hard because he told me one evening a week. I used to study mathematics and accountancy. My uncle was so pleased with my progress that he gave me a full time job on my 18th birthday. Okay. He always knew that his granddad was a very hard worker and his granddad told him to work hard. So one evening he studied mathematics and accounting, and his uncle was very pleased with him, and his uncle was very pleased with him and his progress and his career and gave him a full-time job as a gift on his 18th birthday. I often asked him about his school days, even though I heard the stories many times before. Okay, he often used to ask him about his school days, even though he had heard the story many times. Okay, at break time, each child had a small glass bottle of free milk. We were often very cold. Okay, as we wore short trousers and long socks in the winter of 1963. Okay, they felt so cold as they are wearing the short trousers and long socks in winters of 1963. The snow stayed on the ground for 3 months. The lake in the park froze, so some adventurous boy put on ice skates and skated on it. I only had one school shirt because my mum had very little money. If I dirtied my shirt, mum used to wash it in the evening and I had to put it on the next morning. Still damp. I never asked my mother for pocket money as I knew she didn't have any spare money. As soon as I reached my 12th birthday, I started a newspaper round. That is, I delivered newspapers to most of the houses in the 6 streets near to my home before I went to school. After 2 years, I saved enough money to buy myself a second hand bicycle. From then on, I used to do odd jobs whenever I could, like washing cars. Sometimes I did jobs for free. I regularly did the shopping for my gran who lived 10 minutes walk away. So it's a story of granddad who was born in 1915 northern areas of England, and the father of granddad who worked in a coal mine as a young man. He was not so poor and he has low wealth. He has poor health and poor wealth and he couldn't work more. So the great grandfather died at the age of 47. So what the granddad do? He was only 11 when his father was died, so he used to left the school at the he did left the school at the age of 14 and began to work cause his father was died, so he has to work for his family. Okay, luckily he was given a job by his uncle who ran a small stationery and printing company. His uncle gave him job with him. I always knew that granddad worked very hard, and the person who is telling the story, he said that I always knew that my granddad worked very hard because he told me many times. One evening I used to study mathematics and accountancy. Okay, he is studying mathematics and accountancy one evening, and his uncle was so pleased. He gave him a full-time job after seeing his progress. He gave him a full-time job at his 18th birthday. I often asked him about his school days. Okay, whenever he used to ask his granddad about the school days, he his granddad said that at break time each child had a small glass of bottle of free milk. We were often very cold. Okay, they are very cold because the weather is very cold. As we wore short trousers with long socks in the winter in 1963. The snow stayed on the ground for three months here. Na, so the lake in the park froze. So some adventurous boy come to here and do ice skates and skate on it. I only had one school shirt, and he is not going to play because he had only one shirt, and if he dirtied his shirt, his mother used to wash it every evening, and he had to put it on the next morning. Okay, so he never asked his mother for any kind of pocket money, as he knew that his mother has not enough money now. So as soon as he reached his 12th birthday, he started doing work in a newspaper round. That is, he delivered newspaper to most of the houses in 6th Street, and he buy himself a second-hand bicycle after he saved money. From then on, he used to do an odd job where he get the odd job like washing the cars, and sometimes he did the free job, and he regularly shop for his grandmother who lived 10 minutes away. This is the story which we have read in the first page. Now look at the question at the top. Your question here is, what kind of person was granddad? Rich or poor, hardworking or lazy? After reading the story, we knew this, that their granddad was a hard worker. He was a hard worker person. He is not very rich, but he is not poor, but he is hard worker. He is not so lazy. It's a hard worker, and he used to do many jobs. Okay, he is not lazy. He is a hard worker, but he is poor because his father left when he was only at the age of 11. Okay, now comes to your next page. He was poor at this time, but he do very hard work. Okay, he did work very hard. Now come to the next page for the story. Now he say that the grandmother never offered me money, but sometimes she gave me a ginger biscuit when I came back from the shops. Since those days, I have always been careful with money. I am now the boss of some printing company where I started work. I employed 6 people, and a young man will start work when he finishes school this summer. And so life goes on. With the hard work, he is now a boss of company. Okay, so the lesson in the story is that this is not necessary that if we are poor, okay, so we became poor. Okay, if we are poor, we are poor for life. No, if we do work hard, we became rich very easily. So hard work is a way to success. We need to work very hard if we want success. Okay, if we want any kind of success, so we need to work hard for it. Okay, so grandfather was basically a hardworking person, and he was poor at earlier, but after he worked very hard, he became rich and he became boss of a company. Write the facts about the granddad's life in your notebook. Born in the year. Okay, in which year he born? Yes, he was born in the year 1950. Very good. Left the school at the age of, when he left the school? Yes, he left the school at the age of 14, 14. Okay, now at evening school he studied. What he studied in evening school? Yes, he studied mathematics and accountancy. Very good. He studied mathematics and accountancy. Number 4, part-time jobs. What are the part-time jobs of granddad? Yes, delivering newspaper or washing cars. Very good. Number 3, got a full-time job at the age of what? Yes, he got the full-time job at the age of 18, 18. And what was his present job? Number 6. Yes, his present job is boss of a company, boss of a printer company. Very good. Now we have to true and false. Writing true and false against the sentences. Number 1, exercise C. Granddad mother was poor. Yes, true. Granddad was always cold. No, he was cold in the winters. Granddad never had any money of his own. No, he had money of his own. Granddad bought the new bicycle. No, he bought a second hand bicycle. So your second one is false. Okay, your third one is false, and your last one is also false. What you have to do now, you have to fill in your blanks and as well as fill the true false against the sentences. Your exercise D is find the words and phrases in the text that mean the following. Places where people dig for call. Yes, which place is this? Yes, call mine. Writing materials like envelopes and notebooks, stationery, business numbers and calculations. Yes, accountancy. If you enjoy doing exciting new things, you are adventurous. Okay, slightly wet, damp. Okay, money that parents give to their young children. Yes, pocket money, part-time job. Part-time jobs are odd jobs. Okay, without asking for money, free jobs. Okay, now you have to write these answers on your notebook. Do the exercise D on your notebook and do the B and C on your book. Okay, this is your home task for today, and your E task is ask your grandparents about their school days, then write a paragraph about them using their answers. And these shorter starter sentences. My grand dash was born in dash year. He she grew up in dash place. He she left school at the age of dash. He she remembers a time when. Okay, you have to write the time what he she said to you. Okay, listen the story from them and write the story in your neat English notebook. Hope you understand the video. Read your story carefully and then answers all the exercise and do your answers and do your exercises. Okay, hope you understand the video. Take care, stay blessed, and Allah Hafiz.